We're going to talk about a few things, and I expect you guys to be able to see designs and then be able to discern which one is good and which one is bad. And there's one thing I always tell people: when you apply for jobs, it's not really your skills that get you the job. And not every time you don't get a job, it doesn't mean that you did not qualify for it. It just meant that they saw somebody else's stuff and believed that person was probably somehow better. Even sometimes in a scenario where there's one job, but then 400 people are applying, more than 200 jobs, applications will never get looked at because they can only look at so much. Whenever you apply and then you get all those unfortunate don't take it personally. Don't think it has anything to say on your skills or anything. Really, it's just at this point a game of odds. Some people will get chosen, some people will not. And which is why, again, at some point, I'll show you guys some tactics to use. The DM game is going to be your best friend. Don't apply for jobs just by going to LinkedIn and just sending it through a link. No. Go to the company, find the company. Who is the recruiter there? Who is their head of design? Message those people by DM. Tell them you will do anything, like you will work weekends to get the job. Just to even get the chance for them to look at your portfolio. And you should also be somebody, by the time you do that, be sure that your portfolio is ready. You have a very good portfolio ready to be viewed. But if you look at this, honestly, it wasn't great, really. It wasn't the best. Is this a form, or what exactly is this? Or are these just boxes being drawn? Then why do they have images in the background? What is the point of the images? These are the questions that you should ask yourself. You understand? What is the usefulness of these icons being this big on the desktop? A lot of questions you should be able to see design and just say, this shit sucks. That something sucks just by looking at it. And it's how it is generally. That's why whenever I'm looking at your assignment, we make sure we look at it carefully, right? The way you use your auto layout. How did you structure it? How did you place things? The layout, color usage, color contrast. And the color contrast even making sense? This wasn't so great. I had to message them. I was like, how did you guys just choose these people? What happened? And then they were like, oh, yeah, they noticed too. And this one, after I already shortlist people, qualified people definitely did not get chosen over these people and stuff like that. And I'm seeing, again, there's a lot of politics in a lot of things like this. Maybe somebody knew somebody and then got chosen for some reason. I want you guys to at least look at things like this and at least be rest assured that far, whatever skills right now, your skills are more than good enough than a lot of people that are getting chosen in some places. You understand? This is an example. I keep getting confused. Why are they doing this image background? I have no idea generally. Is this even visible from the background really went from afar? You understand? Contrast, very, very important stuff. And I was just making a lot of comments on their files because how can this be somebody's profile page? Or I don't even know what this is. This big, and is this even great contrast against the blue in the background? But yeah, I was seeing things that I was just like, nah. It's not everybody, and trust me, it's not everybody that it's not because somebody works at Amazon or Google or something, it doesn't mean they are better than you. It just means they were at the right opportunity at the right time. But again, you guys have enough time to build things yourself, to leverage on the skills you are learning, and then relearn things again from different perspectives. It's a very, very important trait. You have to be somebody who's willing to learn things over and over and over and over and over and over again. What is this? You really ask, what is this? I would never really understand what this is, really, like honestly. But yes, that's pretty much about that. Design is very subjective, but design has structure. Design should have a structure. There's a structural format for design. There's something we are looking for whenever we go to the home page of a website. There's information. Every website is for a specific reason. There are basic principles that guide the formats, layout, and the things that we do in UI. You understand? Spacing, you guys already learned how to use grids. Layout is pretty much just about how we arrange things. But then what is the point of these layouts? That is like very, very a very important question. I have a question for you guys as well. When you hear the word SaaS, SaaS, what do you think it means? Now, there's SaaS products. There's something we call, another one called PaaS. There's another one called IaaS. Then before these guys as well, we then have some major classifications here. We have one just website. Whenever you hear the word landing page, landing page, landing page, what do you think it means? The landing page is typically that first page. But do you know that there are some websites that all they are is just one landing page? Occasionally, you can actually get projects where people tell you, we just need a landing page for our business, meaning a one-pager that says everything about their business. What are some of the things that is important if I had a business where maybe what we did for people was maybe we clean people's houses. We come in to clean their houses, and then all we just want on that website is for them to see our services, to be able to call a number or send us an email. What are the things that the landing page should show? And obviously, image is the first thing that will come to mind because images are much more captivating than text. Images typically capture your imagination. What else do we want to say? A
About us.
one-liner, very big
About
and
us.
bold, that says
Yeah.
something. You understand? Then what else do you want to see? The logo is one of the biggest things that you want to see first to know that this is actually the website of that company. The image is there. The heading text, which is a very big header, one liner is there. But next to a header, what do you typically have under that? You usually have a sub header, something that talks a little bit more about what that one liner has captured. The one liner is to draw your attention in. The subtext is to then allow you to read a little bit more information, even though it's not going to be that long. It could just be one sentence. Now, what call to action do you think would be in there? About a one pager where the buttons are now linked to particular sections of the page, where if I click on see services, it will just scroll me down automatically to the area of the page that lists all the different services that we offer. What else should also be on that page to convince me to probably contact these guys? Every business should try to have testimonials at least. Oh, we cleaned for this person and they are happy we actually did that for them. Every business should have testimonials. Now, what typically is in testimonials? I have the image of the person who's giving the testimonial, their name, their area, general, maybe it's in Lagos, Nigeria, or whatever. Then what they said about how good the service was that they received. Simple, very simple. That is where a testimonial will hold. You understand? You can actually have a gallery as well of images of the before and after thing that somebody just mentioned. Gallery of, oh, it looked like this before. After we cleaned it, now it looks like this. That also convinces people a little bit more that, oh, wow, these guys are really good. Everything else has told them a lot of things about the services, testimonials, gallery of all the different kinds of places we've cleaned, we do, services section, all that scenario, fine. But then there needs to be a place where we can then contact. It could be a form, it could be an email, phone number, or it could be a combination of all three, of all of that. You can even have a WhatsApp widget where that WhatsApp widget is floating. Somebody clicks on it and then it takes them to WhatsApp where they can then send a message to the company's WhatsApp. Simple. And then what else is typically on like a landing page as well? You typically have a footer. Your footer is important. Your nav bar is important. The footer will not be a full-fledged footer. It's just be like a simple type of strip footer that doesn't have too many links in it. But again, clicking anything on that footer, it's just other sections of the landing page itself. The landing page typically is a one-pager, but almost every website has a landing page. And the point is this. The landing page is where we get to sell you our services, where we get to tell you what we do. Let's go into a company. Let's check someone like, let's see Framer. I just go to framer.com. This is the landing page of framer.com. Right, this is the landing page. Just publish it with Framer. This is that one liner. Then this is that subtext I said that could just be a sentence that says a little bit more than what this has said. Then you have two CTAs. You can watch the video or you can just get started for free. Remember, I've mentioned primary buttons and secondary buttons. Your primary button should always be the things that you want people to actually do. You understand? The secondary button is just the other thing that, okay, if they are not ready yet and they can do this maybe before they then come back to do this. You understand? Start for free. Signing up is what they want. Conversion is what they want. Now, there's something we call conversion rates. Conversion rate means, as I'm on this website, and it's tracking what I'm doing. Conversion rate means, what conversion rate just means is that for every person that comes to this framer.com URL, how many of them end up spending, how many minutes on average do they spend on this home page? Then beyond the number of minutes they spend on the home page, how many of them actually click on something to check other pages out? But of those numbers and of everybody with their unique IP addresses and wherever they're logging in from, how many of those people then go ahead to then get started or log in? That's what we call conversion rate. Some landing pages don't do a great job of converting people to become users. It's very possible that you could have the finest website, but if people don't notice that we can get started, then there's a problem. Understand? If you don't know that you can use it for free, they will think, maybe you have to pay. Because if I go to pricing here, in pricing, all I'm just saying is paid, 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 paid. There's no free anything here. Therefore, from the main listing, if I could not find a CTA, I would never know that I can actually use it for free. You understand? Now, coming down here, they're now showing you the interface. Look at this. The website builder loved by designers. They are showing you is that it's easy. It's just like using Figma. This looks very similar to Figma. A designer will see this and believe, wow, I can actually use this thing because it looks similar to Figma. There's no way I can mess this up. You understand? Because you can see all the alignment tools, position, size, layout, all that stuff is all here. On the other side, you have your layers, you have assets, everything, pretty much like using Figma. That is the beauty of things like this. Being able to show the interface that it's easy to use, it's not going to be confusing. You understand? Then you go down again. Oh, these are big companies that are actually using this. But the thing here now is, if I move my mouse here, it shows me meet our customers. Meaning you can actually read more about the customers that actually use this product. Myro actually built their own page using Framer. Biograph did the same. Bird, Loops, Perplexity as well was built using Framer. Zapier as well, Paste, or Contra even. They actually used Framer to actually build their landing pages or at least their website itself. If you really think about it, this is actually a very good, at least a very good landing page, in my opinion. Let's just go back. Yeah. And then here, it talks more again about design. But beyond design, then it's showing us more videos. And then I can click to decide, make your designs move without moving mountains. And they are showing you how you can make that happen. Then you can go next again. You can collaborate with multiple, very just like using Figma. They are telling you that as a designer, all of the things that you are familiar with in Figma, they all exist here as well. You can build a CMS that fits you and your team. Now, CMS is content management systems. That's what CMS means. It's not CMS in Lagos. It's content management system. Now, what the content management system is that you can have something where you don't have to contact a developer to change images or to change the text on your website. You can easily just have a CMS where you go in, that header that is at the top here, you just go to that CMS, you just change the text, and this text will change on the live website. That's what we call content management systems. This image, we can want to change it, and then we'll just go to the content management system, upload a new image in there, and this will be changed on the live website for every user. That's what we call a content management system. It allows you to manage content. Content is not just text. Content is images, videos, and should I say typography type stuff that could be on the website. CMS, wherever you hear the word CMS, is just content management systems. All right, going down, then there's a lot more as well. Simple to learn, easy to master. This guy is saying something. Watching a video without sound makes you a little bit curious. What exactly is this guy saying? I don't know what he's saying. Am I curious enough to actually then watch the introduction, but then it's telling you to master the fundamentals, meaning you can actually get started in watching the courses for you to take to learn the tool properly. And they have the courses from 1 up to 6 videos that you can watch. There's beginner levels, is 4 hours, 6 minutes. And these are all the chapters of it. You understand? This is also a very good way of structuring content. When I know I have a video that people will watch, but that video is 4 hours, 6 minutes, instead of just giving them a video and then I know they will click, I can actually outline the content of that video and say, welcome to Framer. This one lasts only for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, then this one is also another 5 minutes after that 5. And then this one is just 1 minute. I can skip watching the entire thing, but I could just take them in little chunks, like little chapters and sub-chapters within each of the videos. You understand? And then there's layout 101. There's this one. And everything in total will pretty much just end up being like that 4 hours that they outlined here. But they did it in such a way that they broke it down that you don't feel scared, like 4 hours for one video. It's easier when you can just see, oh, nice. Maybe all I just want to see is thinking in frames. Once I press thinking in exactly, it was exactly the same thing I was explaining to you guys about auto layout. Using rectangles, boxes. There's always a box that is holding something that is holding another thing. The same concept, and that is what is explaining here. If you understand, that's like another angle to come from. Always think of ways to ease your users' interaction, because almost every content, we want them to interact all the content. We want them to read all the text. We want them to watch all the videos. But we know people don't have the time. People don't have the patience. People see something that is bulky and they get tired easily. How can we do it in such a way that it's bulky, yes, but it can look less overwhelming? Now, I can tell you an example of something I did with the company I currently work for. Let me just go on the website. And by the way, they're giving a house worth £5 million plus 250K. Anyway, yeah. There was a part of this product I was working on, I think my first week at the company. One of the things they identified was, okay, no, not this. I already redesigned this, but we've not put that in yet. It's a page called Experience Rules. Yes. I was like, all of these experience rules, how can we find a way to consolidate everything under one so that we don't have a footer that has too many things? Because when people start seeing too many things, they start getting confused about what is the meaning of all of this. This part, what they have is just like a list. Now, I want 2 people to tell me ways that this can be improved. Instead of just listing it like this, what are some of the alternative ways that this page can be improved? The thing is this. You cannot see any dates here. There are no dates or anything here. There's no point in having a filter, because having a filter means you are assuming that the user knows exactly what they are looking for. In this case, they don't know exactly what they are looking for. They are supposed to come in here and then see the rules of engaging in like this draw. Let's say I want to enter this Cotswold one now. If I enter, what are the rules? How would I get the announcement that I won the house if I won? What are the things that I can sue for if maybe something goes wrong? You understand? Now, let me show you the standard one that they have. This is what that page looks like. It's a lot of text. Text, and tables and all of that. And then you have to scroll to read everything. Now, the idea was, how can we find a way to simplify this in a way that I'm not scrolling all the way down to be seeing things? I might have something specific in mind. Can I jump to a specific section? And that gave birth to this. This was the idea that I came up with. The idea was everything, the key chapters are here. Everything is here. But also, everything on the page as well has been cut into sections. If I want to read anything specific, I could just expand it, and then I can read that. You understand? You understand? All of those different things. It focuses on things. But even instead of scrolling down here, I could also be on the side here, clicking on this one, and I just jump to small prices, and then it takes me there specifically. This was the idea. Small things. Thinking of how to simplify copy, simplify content can definitely be a very, very big change. And funny thing was, there's something in product design that we do. Every time we make a change, we track the engagement of how people are using that page. On a normal day, the experience rules page, people spent time coming to the page, but after they leave here, then they now reach out to the customer experience team to ask questions that are already here. That was what was happening. You understand? Because there's so much text. How do you consume all of this? After we made that change, they stopped getting calls. Like, at least for now, they've not gotten a lot of calls pertaining to the rules of the experience. And it's because it is now very clear. If I want to learn about the grand prize, if I expand and I see the grand prize, it takes me to the grand prize and I can focus only on anything concerning grand prize. If I want to see something about the boosters and new prizes, if I go there, it will take me specifically to the section of that. The key content is now on the side, but then all the content in the middle here as well has now been condensed in a way that it's not long plenty. It's just, let me go there, expand it. And if I'm not reading it, I can just collapse it back and I can focus on other areas. Things like this, small, tiny things like this makes a big difference. You understand? Sometimes the reason why you're making changes in a design is not specifically to build something new, it's to improve what has always existed. And trust me, that is a lot of what you're going to be doing. A lot of the things I'm doing these days is improving experiences. I can show you an example of something I was working on. One thing I'm also realizing is some people, especially people like this VP of products or this president of the company, when you have to talk to them, they want you to talk to them in terms of the flow. Oh, this is the old email, or this is the new email method that we are proposing. And then when they get that email, then they get to log in or sign up. But sometimes they're already logged in. What should they see? When they see this is like the first part, but this is a second option as well. Something where the timer is actually, when the time is actually going. How would is this counting down? You understand? How do they interact with these things? Very, very interesting type method. And again, a lot of times you have to be very, very malleable and adaptable to things. And then you can also go down and then say, okay, now this is a second option where, yes, the email, the login, all of that stuff. But then what if the email, what's it called? The email that was supposed to take you to the app, what if it fails? Then we show a banner in the app. Oh, you have a prize. If you now tap on it, then it takes you back into the normal flow. But this normal flow as well has multiple options of how they can interact with it. And me, one thing I do whenever I design is I always try to make sure my designs are very, very interactive. Something like this now is prototyping, purely prototype. I use circles, frames, and triangle. And then I just brought in all of these different emojis. If I click, it's just going to spin. Prototyping, that is all I did. You understand? These things are not hard, but you have to sit down to think properly. How should this work? You understand? What are the scenarios, situations that can occur, right? That what we expected to happen might not happen, because you cannot trust developers 100%. You should always be ready to say, okay, if this fails, maybe we now have a contingency plan on the home page that just shows the banner. Oh, you have a prize, because this thing is not supposed to be available to everybody. It's only when you win a prize. But what if, and that only links directly from your email? We should be able to give you something that tells you that you've already won a prize. Tap on this and then to reveal that surprise. You understand? And you can always try a lot of ideas. One thing I like to do is just try ideas. This is like a swipe idea. If you swipe on it, it's going to swipe to the side, give you another option. You swipe on it, it gives you another option again, stuff like that. Finding ways to bring delight, make it easier for the average user. Now, let me even see the old version of this. Where is it? Should be somewhere. And you can see my file scattered everywhere. And this is typically how your file will be. But when you are now done, you can then start arranging things. This is like a playground area. And then this is the other thing as well. See, this is the wheel, this is the component. If I click on this, it spins to this point. If I click again, it spins here. I'll just doing it as like an example to demo for them. These are the things that you would do, and then we'll pretty much just change the way everybody in the team looks at you. You understand? They will respect you a lot more if you start doing some crazy type interesting things. You understand? And this, see, all those cards that were flipping from one side to the other. These are the components of the combination of those cards stacked on top of each other. So you can see those cards are under this. All I'm just doing is in the second variant, I'm just shifting one to the side. And then another one is now on top of that. And then every one until it goes back to the end. And I'm just linking them to each other. And at the end, I link the last one back to the beginning. So that if it starts from the beginning, it never stops flipping from one end to the other. You guys have already learned about components. You just use your own creativity and add it in there. How can you take something as simple as, oh, you won a prize? How can you make that fun? That is the task. This one is like a scratch card idea. You can rub your hands on it and then it scratches it and then it reveals the prize that you won. Basic, simple something. You understand? And that's why I'm always like, think outside of the box. But sometimes there's also the idea of going too far outside of that box. Sometimes you don't have to go too far outside of the box. Sometimes don't go too far outside of the box. There are a lot of places you can find inspiration. For me, I always find inspiration from things. I went to mobbing and I was just grabbing screenshots. These are other things I even want to work on later in the month. But I've already gone out and grabbed screenshots to get ideas. Oh, how did they do this? Why could they have done this? Why do they have this section different from this one down here? What could be the advantage of that? Posting a subscription, can we make it nicer like this? Because they have something that looks very ugly currently. And I wonder sometimes how we can have people who have like 10 years experience, 15 years experience on a team, and what they have is still pretty whatever. But again, it's not my job to judge. It's my job to come in, do my own job, and bring excitement to the team. Always find ideas. That mobbing thing, see, now there's also something I'm trying to work on. This is what their subscription page looks like. If you want to pay or subscribe or whatever, can we find ways to simplify and make it fun? Make it cleaner. These are the ideas that I've been looking at. I've been looking at guys like Relume, looking at people like Masterclass. Why could they have made these choices? Can I make this same choice and get away with it? You understand? You have to see, you cannot just be designing from your head. And I always tell people this. Don't just sit down and just be designing from your head. Look at inspiration, then analyze what you are looking at. And then say, okay, let me try this one and this one out. Let me turn this my design to those two versions. And then we'll have a discussion about it. If they like it, then fine. If they don't, then I'll go back to the drawing board. But even as you are designing and doing this, you can start thinking, oh, maybe instead of just this, can I mix this idea with maybe this idea here? Because I like this idea of this. This doesn't have too much content in it. It's very, very simple. Can I find a way where, as I'm interacting with this, something on the side here changes to give me the information of what I've selected? Do you understand? This is pretty much saying, okay, I don't want anybody to scroll from the top of a page to the bottom to be seen. I want this to capture the price, monthly, whatever it is they're paying for. But then once you click and select one, this side will just be changing. And then we'll tell you more. All of those bullet point things under will then be here in a nice way that you can easily consume it. So it doesn't confuse you anyway. You see the price here, but here you are seeing more details. And those are some of the ideas that I've just been thinking about, really. You have to think outside of the box. Now, let's just go back to our lesson mainly. I just wanted to show you like simple things like just changing the format of copy or how easy it is to read or target a specific content on a page can have a very huge impact. Can have very huge impact on, should I say, how the business conducts their business. Let's come back to Figma. Where's the other? Yeah. Landing pages are supposed to convert people. The landing page should convince people, at least, even if it doesn't convince you to sign up, should convince you to want to read more, meaning we want you to spend more time on our landing page. There's something called analytics. Analytics is a very, very important thing. It measures your behavior on websites. And then of every million or 1,000 people, any number of people that visit, it will tell you an average at the end of the month. That you guys maybe people spend on average 7 minutes looking at your landing page. If they spend 7 minutes looking at your landing page, that's a very good day. When people are spending 10 seconds, 20 seconds, that means there's a high bounce rate. What bounce rate means is they come to the website, immediately they see, they close it back, or they close it in less than 1 minute. That is a bounce rate. Bouncing means you come in and then you leave. I'm sure you guys have experienced that before. You've gone to, maybe you were trying to type in something on your browser and then you press enter and then it mistakenly goes to a website that you don't need to go to and then you close it. That is a bounce. These are the metrics that typically we measure. A landing page should convert. But there are projects where they'll call you to just design only a landing page that is just one pager. And I always advise people, that framer I was showing you guys, learn how to use framer. You get paid to design, but at the same time, you also get paid to then turn it to a functional website, because that's what Framer does. And there are plugins here. See, there's Figma to Framer. Take your Figma file, take it to Framer, and learn some of the other things in Framer to make the designs pop, to make the animations happen, and all of that stuff. And you are done. You can easily get paid about 400K just to do a one pager in Framer, because they will appreciate a website that actually functions than just design. Most people don't know what to do with design. The average person is not just looking for a designer. The average person is looking for somebody that can build an actual functioning website for them. That is usually the point of every design. It is not always the way the market will go most times. Instead of going back to Framer to start the design from scratch, there's a plugin that directly plugs into Framer, takes all your designs and then arranges it in Framer. But one thing you just have to do in Framer is just remember, you guys have already learned auto layout. Provided you follow all the guidelines of auto layout, I've already taught you guys. Making a responsive website in Framer is as easy as just using this plugin. And it will look nice on mobile, it will look nice on desktop. You make a few adjustments, obviously, because you have to set the rules of text. Framer allows you to do, like in Figma, we cannot do where our text is getting bigger or smaller as we are shrinking it. In Framer, you'll be able to set the rules of how that happens. But because you have done auto layout in Figma, that auto layout follows into Framer. All your main shapes, your main buttons, cards will adjust. But then you just set the rules for your text and then it will be adjusting automatically inside Framer. I'm not teaching you guys Framer. That's not my job today. But mainly, you can sell services like this on the side. You can build, you can design things. You guys can be a team. You guys will be designing proper, high fidelity, making sense landing pages. And then you go to Framer and then you sell them as templates. Let me show you something here. Let's go to the marketplace. People are buying templates. These are templates for $99, $49. Passive income. You design it once, you build it. Anybody can buy that template and then turn it to whatever they want. Imagine the number of people that have bought these templates that are here. Imagine the number of people that have bought these templates. And the person that built this, imagine, and let me show you an example of it now. Let me preview this one. This is $99. Let's preview. This is a Figma to Framer thing. See all the animations that is going on here. See all of the things that are happening. See how smooth and dope this website is. Imagine, see all of this. All of this was first designed in Figma, obviously. And then they move it here. Then all those animation of something coming in and getting spread out when you scroll there, all of those things are then done inside of Framer. Your text animating like that will be done. There are presets in Framer that will just set the text to do that. You understand? See all these over effects where the mouse is following something. You understand? They are in Framer. Imagine building amazing things like this and then just telling people that it's up for sale. Anybody can buy it. This is a very good template for anybody to buy. You understand? See the hamburger menu, comes up with stuff. You can see pricing. See, this is a landing page. This is taking you to specific sections of the page. That was what we're talking about mainly. This is a landing page template. This is not even one that will be taking you to another page and all that scenario. I have a feeling that this one should probably take you to a different page. Let's click on it. Yeah, it has a different page in it. But mostly it's a landing page and then only portfolio pages. Imagine this. This looks amazing, by the way, in my opinion anyway. Yeah, that's, you can do, like, there's so much as a designer to get money in design. And let me just give you guys this one for free. These are things that me myself I'm thinking of doing. I want to do these things. I want to build templates. Run those templates, make them functional and all of that, and then just leave them on this marketplace. If I can design 20 templates and put them here, if some of my students even work with me at some point, we just say, she be now to share money. Maybe it's 50-40 or 50-50, anyone. The template is there. When money comes in, it comes in. If it does not come in, we know we still have a job full time somewhere. You understand? The real way to make money in design is not really the 9 to 5. These are the things that you can really do to make money. Sell templates in Figma. Also in WordPress, you can actually build WordPress templates because in Figma, there's Figma to WordPress. Let me show you guys. There's Figma to WordPress direct here. You understand? You can be selling the same template you have on Figma. You can be selling it on WordPress. You can be selling it on Wix. You can be selling it on Squarespace. You understand? On different platforms at the same price, and depending on what platform people use, they will buy from either way. And then you have diversified your income. You have more places where money can come from. I want you guys to take this as not just I'm building websites for people. You can build templates yourself. You understand? Build it out. Learn Framer properly. You understand? Sweat it out. Spend 1 month learning that Framer, like your life depends on it. And then build real templates that you can then sell out. Even if your template is $10, you see a lot of people buying that template because to them it's small money. But imagine if 500 people buy that $10 template. That's 5,000, 5K dollars in your hand. Yes. Like always think outside the box. That's landing pages. Landing pages typically is meant to convert you. That is what a landing page is meant to do. Let's not talk about a website. What can anybody guess? What's the difference between a website and a web app? And you guys will hear this word a lot. Website, web app, website, web app, website, web app. What's the difference between the two? A website is anything that is hosted on the internet. You go to a URL, it takes you there. That's standardly a website. But then a web app goes further than that. Websites are for information purposes. You go in there, you can either do like a contact us page. You cannot really do anything. There's no login or sign up. It doesn't retain memory really. That's a website. There's no memory retention. There's no real core database behind it. A web app, on the other hand, is an app built on the web. Your Canva is a web app. Your Uber Eats is a web app. There's even Uber on web as well. It is also a web app because you can log in, sign up, order a ride. Somebody will find you based on the location of that device and then pick you up. All of those things, that is what we call a web app, where you can actually do activities. Now, what you are talking about is what we now call a PWA. Just Control D. It's called a progressive web app. A PWA is a website that you can install on your operating system like an app. It's a web app, but it is wrapped behind a native wrapper. What you are installing on your system is like a shortcut, but that shortcut doesn't take you to the browser. The shortcut just opens up like a wrapper, but what is loading inside that web app, that shortcut that you have is now the actual web version of the app you are accessing is on the web. But that stuff you have is a wrapper. The icon is just a wrapper. It's like a unique browser for that specific listing, but it's not a browser where you can enter URL or be checking history or whatever. It's just something that is a portal that allows you to access the web version of that new thing that they're testing out. So that's what we call a PWA, progressive web app. Funny enough, the Omaze app is a semi-progressive web app. What they have on the mobile app right now is a native app, but it's only the login, sign up, and the opening part that is really the native app side. Everything else after you've signed in and logged in is pretty much web. So it's a web wrapper, meaning it's something that wraps, but inside of it, in the core, it's websites that is showing inside. You understand? What you are talking about is PWA. PWAs are also awesome. It saves you so much money. All you just have to do is build once, make sure your web version is good, and then your developer just have to do some React stuff. And then people will be able to see like a button to install it. Once they install it, it's already on the phone. And then you can access that website from an icon rather than going to a browser. You understand? Now, that's typically what it is. The point of it is it should be different. You understand? The orientation, the arrangement of things should be different. This is what may have generated with ChatGPT. I just generated stuff with GPT. It depends on what you want to do with it. You can access these things. I paid for ChatGPT. I have access to deep search and creating image and a lot of all these other things. But the interface really doesn't really change much. It's just extra accesses. That is all the paid version does, really. But again, I don't want to get too excited about AI. I'll probably talk about AI later. But there was something I was trying out, which I'll talk to you guys about in another distance. It's a very big discovery that can change the way you guys design. But anyway, we'll talk about that one later. Web app websites, they are different. On a website, just going there for basic information, you're looking at things, you are clicking here to go on this page and all of that. Things like your portfolio is a website. It's not really a web app. Somebody coming to my website, they cannot really do much. All you are doing is reading things about the works I've done. You understand? You can come into my website, read more about all the things that I have done, navigate around, go through stuff, maybe go to like my works, things I've done. You can go to like my about. Understand? See me, funny, smiling guy. Understand? And then testimonials. Pretty much simple type of stuff. Go to works as well. I have that here. Classes. Back in the days, I used to put my classes on my website. I used to do like a lot of classes, paid, unpaid, but a lot of them are closed now. Basic, simple things. Understand? Then somebody can come, they want to book a meeting with me. Schedule a call, we just open my calendar, and then they can pick a time to schedule a call with me. Otherwise, this will block out my time mainly. Simple things. They can even send me an email from here. You can read my resume, whatever it is, everything. Simple website. That's all it is. On the other hand, it's very different. You can log in, sign up. You can change your name, your profile picture, change password, set security measures. Maybe you are going there to do some design work. Canva is a very good example. Figma is a web app. Figma is actually a web app. This Figma app is a PWA. Where is it? This Figma app that we have is a progressive web app. It's actually a progressive web app. Yes, even though they have like something called catching. Catching just means I want you guys to learn as much as you can. I'm sure you guys have seen this catch. This catch just means it's saving information on your system's RAM. Typically, the cache uses up some space in your RAM, you understand, just to store some information. See, if ever your system ever starts getting slow, your browser starts getting slow, just go to your cache, clear out your cache. Everything will run smoothly again. You understand? You save some things in your RAM so that next time you visit that website, it will load faster. That is all the cache is. Cache pretty much just saves information on your system that it doesn't need to be loading all this sidebar for me again. It could have cached it on my system. When I visit the app again, it just loads it quickly. All of these standard things can then just be cached, and it's just easy to just access them because internet can be fast, can be slow, etc, etc. That's just what caching means, you understand? The website, web app, progressive web app, I think we have an understanding of that. I could mark that as done. Now, I now get into an interesting point where we have something called SaaS, software as a service. Does anybody have an idea what software as a service means? What service pretty much means is it's a software that has been created by a company. They created the software, but for everybody to use it to then be productive. So something like Google Drive, Gmail, all of those guys are software as service. I know companies that use Google, like everything Google. Currently where I am, they use Google. Where I was before, we use Google. Everything Gmail. But the Gmail is even done in a way where you can actually attach your domain to it. Let's say your company's name is beautifulcakes.com. You can use Google's domains to buy something that it will be a Gmail, but it's going to be your name, blah, blah, timmy@beautifulcakes.com. That would be the email name. You can set as many emails. It's free. It looks free. You're not paying anything really. But those guys know exactly what they are doing. Your data is very precious to Google. There's a reason why Google Gemini is amazing. People don't hear a lot about Gemini, we hear more about ChatGPT because that was the first main, should I say, public, free to use, should I say, AI tool. But Google's Gemini is something else, man. As I was saying, there are tools that you can use. Canva is software as a service. It's a web app, yes, but it's software as a service. Teams are on Canva. Figma is software as a service. This is software that have been created for teams to be able to use, for individuals to be able to use in order to get some productivity out. Now, we now have something called pass. Can anybody tell me what pass means? What's that P in pass? Guys, P in pass. What's that?
Platform.
P is platform. Platform as a service. Now, platform is not just about software anymore. It is now a software that pretty much is like a platform. Google itself is platform as a service. You can have one Google account and you have access to so many other services that you can use. These platforms have been created for you. There's Google AdWords, there's Google Docs, there's Google Sheets, there's Google Drive, Gmail, there's Google Analytics. There are so many other tools within that. It's a platform. It's a platform that has been created with a lot of intertwined, interrelated services and tools that pretty much can work for one person and help to automate things. Another example of platform as a service is something like WordPress, Framer. Those are platforms as services. I can create something on my own. I'll go on Framer and I'll put it as a template and somebody will buy it. I'm a business on Framer, but I'm selling to other people through Framer. But anybody as well can just go into Framer and then make their own payments and purchase, and it is still them. Again, but Framer is, I won't really say it's a platform. I'll still call it a software as a service. There's a thin line between the two. But I'll still call Framer more of a software as a service than a platform. But the one I'll really call a platform as a service really right now is Uber. Uber is platform as a service. I could have a car. Uber necessarily doesn't own cars, but Uber delivers rides. Millions of rides every single day. Almost every single hour of every day anyway. Think about it that way. A platform that has been created for businesses to be able to come in, make money, for individual users to be able to come in to also make money, but also the way they are making money as well or using these services, it's of like an automated type of benefit. It does something for them, even when they are not in there. It's doing something actively. It's working in an interconnected type of way. Something like Uber Eats. People are on Uber Eats as restaurants. People are on Uber as delivery riders. People are on Uber as people who take these rides. All these big services are also on Uber. Things like the train service in the UK, the train service is the bus service as well is there. You can also order boats. I think that boat one is available in Nigeria now. It's like a lot of different, like a big marketplace where the platform has already been created. It's just for you guys to just be interacting amongst within that one platform. That platform as a service itself. Then infrastructure as a service is something that you cannot necessarily see. These are more building, these are more physical structures. Google as well, they have their own infrastructure as a service as well. Almost anything AI, really, but infrastructure as a service is not for the average user, it's not for the everyday person. It's typically for big businesses to tie into, like all these AI data systems, data warehouses, you understand? All of those things, those are infrastructures that have been created. Amazon has infrastructure as a service. Apple also have like infrastructure as a service. Google also, they have their own. They have like acres and acres and acres, hundreds of acres that is just a warehouse where servers are literally hosted. Small businesses that cannot afford to build their own data banks or warehouses will then go in there to rent a small slot within there. And that's how those companies are making big bank. That's why you hear, oh, Google made something billion in a year or something like that. That is why they've built infrastructure, because they know everybody cannot afford. So they built something that people cannot afford. Then you go in there, you just tap your own thing into that. Understand? And those are some of the best secure ways to really own like your own data as well. So that's like the difference between a lot of these guys. Platform as a service pretty much is a platform created a myriad of different apps that pretty much work well together. And a lot of different types of users can interact without the interference of the company themselves. Software as a service is a company that is delivering services directly to individuals and also businesses, but they're getting some, should I say, benefits from the software itself. You understand? Things like your GPT and all of them, they are very good software as a service. You understand? So we understand websites, we understand web apps now. Progressive web apps are pretty much just websites that you can install on your phone. Very simple. PWAs. Yeah, that's what we call it, a web wrapper. It's something that wraps a website, but you can access from an icon. Simple. Just think of it from that perspective. Now, when I'm building anything SaaS platform or internet as a service, how should I be thinking about the landing pages or even the pages of these things? Now, let's go into some tools. Let's go to Canva. Let's go to Uber. Me, I'm always ordering Uber Eats. That's why it always bring up Uber Eats. Me, I cannot cook for shit. Anyway, Canva, Uber. Let's look at who else should we check out. Let's just say Asana. Asana is boring though. Let's go and check Asana. Monday.com is one of the best. I love this Monday.com one. But let's shall say Asana. What other apps can we check out again? What other web apps or web services can we look at again? All right, let's go into it. I want you guys to think of all of these guys as like every page has a purpose. Every single page has a purpose. There's a reason why every page exists. The copy, the image, the text, whatever it is, should be telling you something about that platform. This is Shopify. And this is what we call the hero section. Now watch. What is the first thing that stands out to you here on this area? Let's talk information architecture, the hierarchy of importance of what we are looking at. What is the first thing that catches your eye on this page? The video. That one has already captured your listing. Now, from this video, what can you tell from this video itself? Let's even forget the text and everything else on the page. What do you think this video is telling you? One thing I'm seeing here is this is a very social thing. I'm seeing a lot of people from home create things. I'm seeing people work from home. I'm seeing normal everyday people just be happy about this. And then also I saw the NASDAQ thing, meaning this is a company that has gone IPO. They've gone public. You understand? Meaning they trade shares. This is a very successful company. That's one thing I've actually understood. I saw a warehouse in there as well. Now, here comes the text. Be the next category creator. Be the next unicorn startup. Just watch. Be the next household name. These are things that, you see, the text is changing. Be the next global empire. They're telling you that you can come in here and then do something, even though I don't know what I can do yet. Let's now see. Dream big, build fast, and grow far on Shopify. Meaning meaning I can build something here and grow far. Meaning it's like a sales type of platform. And what can you see that they've actually put as the primary buttons? Getting started for free. They've told you, they've shown you all these beautiful things here. I've not even scrolled all the way down. I'm still up here. But already with the information I've seen, a lot has been communicated. If I'm not convinced yet, if I'm still confused, then I scroll down. And then the next section now explains it more clearly. The one commerce platform behind it all, meaning it's e-commerce. Simple. If I want to sell stuff, this is where I come to host my shop and everything. Sell online and in person. The end. They've already explained everything with just these two sections. I don't know if you guys are following what I'm saying. They've explained everything with these two key sections. And then I know that if I scroll down, it's just adding more information to that. From entrepreneurs to enterprise. See, get started fast, grow big as you want. And they're showing you nice imagery, showing you examples of people that have built amazing things with Shopify. And then they're telling you, pick a plan that fits. Meaning, if I'm still confused, I don't know what plan to go for. I can just say, pick a plan that fits. Now, to take me to the pricing page, do I want to pay in a year or do I just want to pay monthly? Me, I always advise anybody that wants to do anything like this. you won't do anything, just pay annual payments. Just lock up and just forget about it for the entire year. I will always advise people. But the problem is this advance, £259. It's crazy. This is over £300 a year if you are going to do this for 1 year. But see what they are doing here as well. Now, if you think about it, just watch. Everything they are doing is to convince you to actually buy a plan. They said pay monthly. Yeah, you pay. See, when I switched, the price went up. If I come here, I'm saving 25%. Meaning I'm saving more money if I pay annually than if I pay monthly. But then watch what they did. £1 per month for the first 3 months. Meaning for the first 3 months, I'm actually getting like 3 months off. That's what they've actually done here. They've convinced me. Even if I wanted a business if I wanted to do a business that is scaling, then it's just better for me to just go for this plan. Since 3 months, I will not pay. It's £1. It's like it's not even money. And then the next thing is just this. Everything you see on the page is very intentional. Then there's a full list of features. You can go down, see more. Everything is telling you about something. Start your free trial. Even though this does not look like a CTA, it is actually clickable. You understand? You have to be creative in the way you show things, but also understand that what is the importance of the page? The importance of this one page is to get you to what? To subscribe. Start paying monthly. Start creating stuff. Come and sell things on our platform. That is the point of this. You understand? And this Shopify stuff is big around here. That's why I always tell people, sometimes you don't necessarily have to build, even especially for those of you guys probably who have like businesses on the side, you don't necessarily have to build your own website. You could create a Shopify website. Once you pay annual stuff, or maybe monthly, whatever you want to do, have a Shopify website. All the payment systems are integrated. You're not asking anybody to help you upgrade it or anything. You can easily contact Shopify's helpline, and then they will help you to solve any problems. You are not building your own website. Shopify itself is giving you the template you're going to use to build your own website. And then you can get sales from almost anywhere. And then there's something in this Shopify. It's very similar to Figma. It's e-commerce. It's the e-commerce version of Figma. With Shopify, even if you are somebody who prints t-shirts, custom t-shirts, in Shopify, there are other companies on here that have their own plugins, where if somebody orders a printed custom t-shirt with somebody's face on it, you don't even have to see the order. It sends to those people, they print it, and then they deliver it themselves. It's like an interconnected, and you are the one that are getting paid, and they just get their own commission for printing the shirt. That's why, obviously, I can understand why these guys have IPO. Definitely, they're going to be successful. They've built an entire platform as a service, really, right? It's a platform of interconnected systems. You can have a website in here. You can collect only payments if it's only payments you want to do. You can integrate automated fulfillment services. You can do pre-order things as well. You can do so many things with this tool because other people have come in there before you. They've created a lot of stuff with this. And then you just plug into that and conduct business. And you just keep making your own money. You can see all of this, every information. But you always have to think about it in the sense that, why do we have this section? And why do you guys think this section is important? And watch this. See what they did here. They are telling you millions of merchants of every size have collectively made over. How many zeros are this? This is already a million. This is a billion. And this is a trillion. Meaning people have made over a trillion in total in profits using Shopify. $1 trillion. This section here is convincing you as well. The first area has given you some context. Coming down simplifies it to the stupidest version of it. It's commerce platform. Sell online and in person. Whatever you want to do, it's here. Going down, this is telling you, maybe you don't know what plan you want to do, but the images are here to also show you that you can be selling clothes or whatever it is, and then you can definitely make sales. You can be on Shopify as well. Pick a plan. This is going to take you to the plans page where you get to subscribe. This is another way of saying get started for free. You understand? It's like the same thing, but this is done in a subtle way with wording. Just pick a plan that fits. Now, if I go down, sell here everywhere, and they're telling you can create a website, customize it. The videos are telling you all of that. Then see, automatically things are connected to Instagram, to Walmart, to Amazon. All of your things can be connected, automated, without you having to do any physical post or anything like that. TikTok shop, everything can be interconnected with just this one platform, really. And then other summary, all of that stuff. And then it's just telling you more and more. And the more you look at it, the more convinced you are going to be. This is what we call information architecture at its finest. I love this information architecture so much that everything is adding more context, more context, more context to exactly what you can do with all of this. They have POS systems for checkouts. If you have a physical store, this is a landing page. This landing page is communicating to you guys. And they also have nice, telling you all these countries, they ship from here to there. And funny enough, Shopify also have shipping services that are integrated. You don't have to ship. If where the products are, you've already set the address, they'll come there. Maybe it's Amazon delivered, DPD, or Royal Express, or whichever one. The courier will come to your house. They'll come, you can be selling right from your room. They'll come, they'll pick it, whichever country it is, they'll fulfill that, and the delivery will be done. And you can even add charges for delivery right in your settings. It's like the world is no longer the place where everything is automated. Everybody is thinking auto. And really, if you want to build any business that's going to be successful, you should start thinking SaaS, platform as a service. If you really want to build anything that will be successful, build something that individuals can use, businesses can use as well, and a place where everybody can then interact without your involvement. You understand? That is something, again, I think Ola will understand my mindset now. Actually, after I explain all of this, that's how it is. Only manufacturers make money. And see this, you can actually build this with Figma. You can do 3D stuff in Figma as well. See Nigeria self, they there. Some of our people self, they're there, they sell for Shopify. You understand? Really, there's like technology is like the best kept secret, really. Like there are a lot of tools out there, just amazing tools. These are the guys you should be looking up to. Should be looking up to these guys. These are the companies. Whenever they ask you, what brands do you look up to? These are the kinds of companies that you should be looking up to. I will never mention Asana when they say I'm looking up to companies. Yes, this is very nice and all of that. It's cool. But I will not say Asana. You understand? Really. I will not say Dropbox. Even though Dropbox is nice, all they do is storage, really. There's nothing else. Google Drive already does storage. Why would I have signed up for Dropbox? But again, that's the story for another day, really. Think about it. I know everybody wants to make money. If you want to make money with this product design thing or whatever it is, start learning Framer. Start learning Shopify. If you can build somebody's Shopify store for them in this place, do you know how much people are getting paid to build Shopify stores for people? Junior level people are getting paid per contract around 5,500 per Shopify store. And I'm talking pounds, 5,500 pounds per Shopify store to build and set it up for people. Imagine having that skill. And they're just going on maybe something like Upwork and telling them, oh yeah, I can do this for you for 5K, or even if not 3K from Nigeria. If I collect 3K for Nigeria, I know the jackpot, obviously. Really think you like tools like this are already created. And the point is not just even just the design part, but the point is these tools are already there. Yes, you've learned design, how to design, and you have to keep owning that skill. But beside all of these things, instead of going to the club on Friday, hanging out with friends or cousins and talking about things that don't fucking make any sense, why not learn new skills with your spare time? Because everything always pays off at the end of the day. Personally, these are the things that I'm learning right now. These are the things that I'm learning because I would like an early retirement. You understand? This is an amazing example of a brand, really. But let's come to Behance. Now, it's not really a landing, but let me log out first. Let's just go to Behance's landing page. This Behance's landing page. Supercharge your creative career with Behance Pro. This already tells you something. So you see that the hero section is there to tell you information, give you the short gist of everything. advanced analytics, zero platform fees, more features to grow your creative career, get more clients looking at your work. It's like a portfolio space. Already tells you a lot. Then all these images are just adding more context to whatever this has already told me. I'm already seeing what Behance looks like already. Before I even get into Behance, this is all they did. This is everything they've done to them. They've done everything that they want to do. But let me come back here first. Let me try to find, this is the real landing page. Meaning what they have done is they created a landing page for me when I log out, but also they have another landing page version for somebody who's coming in for like the first time. The world's best creators are on Behance. Meaning, if you want to be the world's best creator, this was already convincing you, I'm gonna shame myself, I'm not gonna join these people like this. You understand? And then subtext to add more context to what this is saying. Then the images are also there. But if you notice, what they have done here is they are trying to say the most important thing here is the text. For them, their information architecture, the text is what they are talking about mainly. The images are just more like aesthetical things, not really that important, but the text are the most important thing. And you can hire a freelancer or try Behance Pro. And if I go down, then I start seeing people's works. Search the creative world at work. Meaning you can learn and get inspiration from all of these guys. And at the bottom, sign up. Just use your Google. They are telling you, you can use Google to sign up. It's not really, yeah, this is a very simple one, but this also drives the point home. At least anybody who comes to Behance is probably a designer. Seeing all of this convinces you because these are some of the best works on the platform. Seeing nice things like this will definitely convince me to want to sign up. Then let's check out Dropbox, which is get to work with a lot less work. Dropbox delivers tools that helps you move your work forward faster, keep it safe, and let you collaborate with ease. Oh yeah, now they did some nice animation. That's nice. Sign up for free, find your plan, and then I scroll down. All they do mainly storage. There's nothing really. Again, to me personally, I'm not really impressed with Dropbox. They should have done a lot of other things really over the years, but you can do like document signatures and all of that because I remember there was Dropbox paper back in 2017 when I was doing design then. Anyway, yeah, interesting stuff. And then they have very nice scrolls as well. They want you to focus on one thing at a time. Focus on this. The moment you scroll just a little bit, it jumps and then it shows you the image. And then I scroll again, it shows you this. And these are the things they want you to read. And the more you scroll, the more the text becomes darker. Interesting. And then I can choose to edit and sign, collaborate, search, and then securely store. Then let's go up. Work with anyone from anywhere on any device. And then adjust this. This is how it's done. Okay. And then instant action, Dropbox, doc send. Yeah, pretty interesting concept. But again, if you notice, everything they've done from the top, they've told you a little bit. They've used imagery to convey it to you. They're telling you more down here and disguising some of these things as places that you can click on to go and start. And then they give more context and then you can get started. See, again, they give you more buttons here. This is what we call tautology. Tautology just means we are repeating yourself over and over. Are you convinced yet? Yeah, sign up. If you're not convinced, yeah, go down. Oh yeah, now you are here. You've read this. Are you convinced now? We are just asking you at almost every point, sign up now, sign up now, sign up now. You understand? And then instead of you having to go back all the way up to sign up, every single section you meet, the sign up or learn more type buttons there. So that's kind of like what they did, and it works very, very well for them as well. Yeah, these are very great examples of landing pages that you guys should be looking at. These are very good inspiration of landing pages. Monday.com as well. Very, very, very dope. This thing. I can select things I want to use Monday for and just say get started. And then based on those things, it will sign me up based on those preferences. And then it will give me like the pricing and all of that stuff. Increase productivity, fully customizable. What would you like to manage? This is a business tool mainly. Creative and design, this one, that one, all of that. And you go down and then it adds more context. You can integrate Asana into it. And they're okay, this is like a versus. These are their competition itself. 87%, 91%. Well, pretty much they are very close. I won't say they are very different anyway. But the thing about Monday is it just has its own nice way of visualizing things anyway. Yeah, look at all of this. Everything you are encountering is telling you more. These are all the certifications they have. Highest user adoption, users most likely to recommend, best usability in 2024, leader of 2020. These are the awards that they won. Centralize all your team's work by integrating tools and apps, meaning you can integrate LinkedIn, Gmail, Excel, Slack, Google Drive, Salesforce, MailChimp, all of these guys, calendars into one tool. They are telling you more. Anybody who's a business person who understands things like product or projects will definitely understand what all of these things are saying. These are specialized tools. They are building something for everybody. You used very, very simple, dumbed down language. I'll not be using words like dashboard, data driven for everyday person. I'll be using very simple layman term language to communicate things to them. If I'm building specialized tools like this Monday.com, then I'll be using things like security, compliance, because professionals should generally understand what these things mean. These are some testimonials as well. They typically add that in there. Then Asana too looks good. They use their colors very well. That's one thing I respect Asana for, really. Asana is like this, is one of the simplest, I think, product or project management tools really out there. It's very simple, straightforward, really. Then you get to this top is telling you more. This is telling you more. Let's align this work to your goals, where work connects. This is telling you a lot of things. And then you go down, you get to see companies that use Asana, the biggest companies in the world. Amazon alone is convincing enough. And see how they keep work moving across use cases. So you can see the type of languages that they are using. Technical language, because this is a technical tool. If I'm building something for everybody, it's generally just going to be very simple languages. What sets Asana apart? See, simple concepts. You should be able to learn from tools like this to understand how to structure a site from top to bottom. But just understand that everything you are showing from top to bottom should be adding more context to what you've said before, should be adding more information, but in a way that doesn't confuse the user. Everything you're doing from top to bottom should just be adding more context until we get to the bottom, right? Asana is great too. These are landing pages. And then this is Uber Eats. See, this is not a landing page, like a dashboard page. This is a dashboard page, really. Here, these are all the categories that they have of different types of meals. Oh, you want to order grocery, you go in there. If it's fast food, if it's burgers, if it's Chinese, if it's alcohol, if it's sushi, whatever you want, all the categories are here. But beyond that, if you don't want to be scrolling through categories, you can still come down, see filters. I want deliveries under £3 or £2 or £4. Once I do this and I apply, it will filter the entire page. Everything showing down there will filter down, right? That is the advantage of having filters. Filters are very nice. And I like this slider stuff as well. If I change to £3 and I apply to filter again, now these guys are under £3 and etc. with all the nice options and everything, right? And the beauty of it again is the images are very tasty. Obviously, it's a food this thing. Whatever you are posting, you want to get customers, you should be putting nice, beautiful food, tasty images that will make your mouth water whenever you see them. See, this one, okay, it's authentic Nigerian food. Yeah, £6. Right, pounded yam. £6. You understand? Voila. It's £13. You understand? Let's just go back. Because I'm already craving amala already. I don't want to spend too much time here before I get tempted. This is the idea that whatever it is that you need to do from the dashboard page, the key things you probably want to do, you should be able to access it straight up. If it's food you're looking for, there are filters here. If you have something specific in mind, pick a filter. If I can just say burgers, to show me places that only sell burgers and see everything I'm seeing here is burgers. If I say Chinese, I go into Chinese, it filters down again. You see, I'm not going through like a number of pages. As I go to Uber Eats, I'm here. Filter down. You understand? Go to the page you need to go to. Is it Oriental Kitchen? Click on it. What do you want to add to your cart? That flow is very important. But again, when I'm seeing a restaurant, what should I be seeing to convince me to then buy from them? This is the name of the restaurant. This is the image. Very clear, crisp images. I can search for a specific food. They are telling me delivery fee is just £3. 25 minutes earliest arrival, meaning I have to wait 25 minutes. They're telling me I can do delivery or I can go there to pick it up. But now you can see my mouse is there and it's telling me it's not available, meaning you cannot do pickup. They only do deliveries here. If I want to do a group order, there's the option to do groups. I want to add people to my group so that we order the food together and we split the bill. You understand? And then more information, 4 stars. People have given these guys 4 stars on average. Over 1,000 people have ordered from them. Minimum order value for this store is £5. And this is the address of the place. Even if I want to go there, this is the address. And then things that was picked for me. But if you notice something, immediately I get to one point, this stops scrolling. This gets sticky. I can scroll this side and this side individually because this is really the menu. Everything in the menu, I can just jump. And this was what I did for that Ome stuff. It was actually this that inspired me to design that one. For that page, I'll show you guys about. I could just click, it takes me to soups. Go to chicken dishes, go back to picked for you. Can go back down to Thai main courses. And then it takes me to the bottom, to those areas where I need to access things. This is, should I say, experience. This user experience minimizing something that should not be too stressful. You understand? And yeah, that's the beauty of this really. Finding ways to simplify things so that our users would always find the best value for whatever it is that we're offering them. And then see down here at the bottom, they now see ratings and reviews. And you can even load more. Uber has done it in a way that, yes, we have given you guys a space. Remember, this Oriental Kitchen as well, they will now have their own dashboard where they'll be able to change this image. They'll be able to change their name. They'll be able to set this minimum order value, meaning the minimum you can buy from us is £5. They'll be able to change their address in case they change position. They'll be able to list all of their menu items and the prices for each thing. They'll be able to place all of that. But all of this 85% that you're seeing, this thumbs up you're seeing, this is not from the restaurant. This is based on people that ordered those things and the thumbs up that they gave it. Meaning 87% of the 39 people that ordered this particular dish gave it thumbs up. All of those things, very, very important to understand structures of how the data passes through. But just remember, the job of every page is to convince your user to buy. Right? In one way or the other is to convince the user to buy. Every page will have its own function. If it's a page like that, terms and conditions, you can simplify it in a way that people can read the terms and conditions more thoroughly by using things like these sidebars that they can just filter down to a specific area and it takes them there and they can read that specific information. And yes, that's pretty much that. Canva as well, very simple. Canva is also very simple. All the different sizes of designs that I want to do, they've put it in front of me. I can click straight and I can just start designing straight up, right? I can do a lot of different things. There are templates available. See on this sidebar, there's templates. If you click on it, you will see a lot of templates for videos, for images, filters, whatever it is you want to do, everything is in here. See this, thank you for watching. This is a very nice template that you can use for free. You understand? Today, I just wanted to talk about landing pages, websites, really, web UI, because it's very, very important for you guys to understand. The structure of the information from the top to the bottom is about convincing your users. You are taking them on a journey. We call it storytelling. Whatever you tell us at the top, you are adding more context at the bottom. You're adding more context. You're adding more context. Note, every movie you've ever enjoyed, at least I would guess, every movie you've ever enjoyed is something that has taken you on an entire journey. You see some movies, they'll start from the end. They'll start, the person, maybe at the end there was an accident, but then they'll now rewind back to the beginning. You'll be guessing what happened to this guy that made that ending, that beginning thing that we saw. You can do a lot of that again with this. I mean, I always think in terms of, I relate standard things or pretty normal things to my work generally. Can I start selling something to you? But then the more you go down, the more you are seeing why you should actually buy that thing. There's a lot of ways you can do design. There's a lot of ways you can cook rice. There's a lot of ways you can cook stew as well. There are a million different ways you can do everything. There are also a million different ways you can structure a landing page, a home page, a pricing page, whatever it is. It could be an offer. Say we are giving you 1 month free, but once you do that, then you definitely have to then start buying after month 2. Meaning you are giving them 1 month to try your product, and then after that 1 month, they start paying. Yeah, there's a lot of mindset again about it, but again, there's more that we're going to talk about tomorrow. Really, tomorrow is around conversion, really metrics. We've already spoken about landing pages today and all of that, but tomorrow I want to talk about metrics that we measure in things like GA. When I say GA, I just mean Google Analytics. Google Analytics, Mixpanel, Hotjar, all of those analytics tools. What are the things that, when you start working for companies, what are the things you should be looking out for to know that this website that we designed, this change we made to the website is, people are enjoying it more than the one we had before. You understand? All those analytics tools, pretty much, they tell you a lot about that. We'll talk about the things to look out for, just at least to have in mind. There's no way I can really show you some dashboards here, but it's confidential stuff. I can show you some of that, but I cannot specifically go deep into some confidential things. But we'll talk about the key things that you should know. When you get into a company, when you get into any interviews, you'll be able to match your design with conversion metrics, analytics metrics, because it's very important to say, whenever I'm designing, I'm aiming to increase conversion rates by this, reduce drop-off rates, reduce bounce rates. You understand? So you should know what you should be increasing. You should know what you should be reducing on everything you are doing. You understand? That is how you measure success. It's not just about how fine it looks. Yes, we launch it, we build it. Are people now enjoying it? You understand? That is the real measure. I just found this image of Amazon gift card. I just brought it inside. But if you want to do something like this, it's easy. Let me show you something. Okay, let me create a frame. And let me just create a white frame. Let me create another frame inside. Let's make this one black. Let's curve the edge. Let's shrink this down. Let's just say like that Amazon card. Now, I want to do something. Okay, let me just add text. Just say card delicious. Let me just increase the size of the text. Now I have a card. Now, I want to skew this a little bit. I'll just go into plugins. I'll just search for skew. There's one tool called, actually, where's that plugin? Okay, let me even try this new. Let me try new plugins. Let me explore new plugins. All right. I want to rotate this a little bit. Let's try. Oh yeah. Let's try. See, there are a lot of plugins there. You know, explore plugins, but no voila. So let's come here. Let's just say this is the card, Abby. Oh yeah. Now I want to add a shadow down here. I'll just do. I could just use a circle. I'll drag the circle here. Already it's looking like a shadow. I'll just send it to the back. I'll move it up a little bit. Now I can make this black. But then one thing I'll just do is I'll add an effect to it. And instead of drop shadow, I want it to be, what's it called? Layer blur. I want this to be blurry. And then I'll increase the blur. I could reduce the size a little bit just to adjust it. Just stretch it a little bit. And then we reduce that blur. Maybe that blur is too much. Reduce it a little bit. And then I have a shadow pretty much that looks like that. Abby, is this not what you're asking for? You've learned everything you need to learn. It's just to manipulate things to give you that visual illusion. You understand? That's what the job is really. If I want to make this look like a card that has like a perspective, I'll just use a linear this thing on it. I'll do linear. That is like light is reflecting on the card to give it that illusion of that linear this thing. You understand? I don't want the light to be too much. I just do a little bit of this and I'll just adjust. And then I have a card that looks like a real card, but light is reflecting down here. And that's that. You can do a lot of things. It's just really just figure out how you want to manipulate what you are doing to get the results.